While we may see such examples of altruistic sacrifice in conflicting ways, evolutionary psychologists contend that we have evolved the type of mind which tends to do things that aided inclusive fitness in our past and may frequently do so today. A major question facing evolutionary psychologists is, how well does Hamilton's reasoning fit in with our current human behavior? A number of evolutionary psychologists have applied this model to examples of human social behavior where individual actions may have a bearing on the survival of others. During the first Gulf War of 1990, for example, Chavez et al. Studied altruistic behavior with regard to air raids in Israel. They found that individuals were more likely to share air raid shelters with relatives and to call up kin to see whether help was needed. In contrast, when it came to lesser forms of aid, such as giving advice about preparing for air raids, individuals were more likely to aid friends than relatives. Psychologists have begun to use social psychological rating scales to test Hamilton's kin selection theory in humans. Bernstein asked participants to make hypothetical decisions with regard to giving aid either to relatives or to non-relatives, under either life and death conditions or whether a small favor was involved. In a series of such studies, they manipulated a number of characteristics of the hypothetical recipients, such as sex, health, wealth, and level of kinship. Over all of these studies, participants' decisions followed precisely the predictions made by Hamilton's inclusive fitness theory. Not only did they favor relatives over non-relatives, but also their favoritism towards relatives was stronger under life and death conditions, and younger, healthier relatives were particularly favored. Interestingly, in other studies of hypothetical decisions to give aid to friends or relatives, Stuart Williams found that for low-cost aid, friends were given as much aid as kin, but that when this shifted to high-cost aid, kin were favored, and the closer the kin relationship, the greater the aid provided. Perhaps the greatest sacrifice can be observed in a species of spider. Trigger warning for spider phobia sensitivity. This species, Emeribbius fenestralis, belongs to a family of funnel weaver spiders known collectively as the Emeribbidae. The Emeribbidae are unremarkable to look at, each being around 1 centimeter in length. They live in holes, in trees, and in crevices in artificial structures. There is, however, something about their reproductive behavior that you may find both fascinating and gruesome. Having mated in their second year of life, females lay their eggs in a tightly spun feeding chamber and shortly thereafter enter into a state of torpor. The spiderlings initially gain sustenance from the egg yolk that their mother has kindly provided for them. But this soon runs out, and the voracious spiderlings leave the feeding chamber in search of more food. All they find is her torpid body, so they eat their mother. She has sacrificed everything, including her life for her offspring. But how can such an excessive degree of sacrifice have ever evolved? Surely this can't maximize inclusive fitness, or can it? Today, most ethologists ask what is in it for the genes rather than for the species. The Emeribbidae spiders may be an extreme example of kin-selected altruism. Most parents don't let their offspring eat them, but this extreme example serves to demonstrate just how far nepotistic behavior can go, given the right circumstances. In the environment of the Emeribbidae females, the chances of meeting a male are quite slim, and it may make adaptive sense to breed just once and make the ultimate sacrifice.